God bless you, global Christian friends. You know, many of you around the globe are not living up to God's potential for yourselves in word and spirit, in works, nor power. And if you think in proportion to what God has already provided for you, you would think bigger than yourselves in relationship to those godly provisions. We're going right back to the 9th verse. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. We know most people look at the idea about peacemakers, but Jesus was a peacemaker between the wind and the sea. And you'll understand that from Mark 4:39. We think that he's just a peacemaker between the nations, a peacemaker between man and man, but he was also the peacemaker between the wind and the sea. Because when he stood up and rose up, he spoke to them and said, "Peace, be still." And that's bringing peace. Well, the Bible said that was a great calm because of that. So he was a peacemaker between the land, the wind, and the sea. Let me give you three mysteries before we proceed further. The mystery of the kingdom of heaven that's given to you, Matthew 13:19. The mystery of the kingdom of God, Mark 4:11. And the mystery of God himself, first of all being promised, Revelations 10:7, and being fulfilled, Revelations chapter 11, verse 15. Now, those three great mysteries are the three greatest mysteries that you can ever hope to find. The mystery of the kingdom of heaven, the mystery of the kingdom of God, and the mystery of God himself. And we said the last time God was seen, he was going up into heaven, according to the scriptures. Now, we're going to look at the 10th verse. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And we've talked about righteousness. We've gone off into righteousness. We've seen the works, the effects of righteousness, and the promises of righteousness, the fruits of righteousness, the things of righteousness, what righteousness is all about, why righteousness is, and why you are made the righteousness of God. And this certifies the kingdom of heaven, which can only be certified by righteousness because Jesus said we came to fulfill it all. And when you're persecuted for righteousness' sake, it is for the kingdom of heaven. And think about that statement, because we had said in the 20th verse, "Accept your righteousness," and let's not forget what he said, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God," 6:33 Matthew, "and his righteousness, and everything will be added unto you. But look at what it says in the 20th verse. Except your righteousness exceed that of the scribes and Pharisees, ye shall in no case enter into the kingdom of heaven. Now Jesus knows all this and sees all this as he's explaining all this, as he's standing there with his eyes and mind transfixed over the heads of the disciples, staring out beyond where spacecrafts now travel, out beyond the heavens. And just seeing that and understanding that is the most wonderful thing to see that. You can't see that if you were overhead now in the space station looking down on him near Capernaum at that time, because they are 340 miles up. Well, they couldn't see him at that distance unless the multitude would grow in number and grow in size than it is already. But there he stands. And he said in that next verse, blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Now he said in verse 11, blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Now mind you, he said you shall be hated of all men for my sake, and you shall be hated of all nations for my sake. And when men, he also said, if they hate you, they hated me first, before they hated you. So we see here that it's a great blessing to be blessed by the Lord. And that's 10:22, Matthew, and 24:9. Matthew 10:22, men, they hate you, they hate me. 24:9, you're hated by the nations and things. In John 15:18, they hated me before they hated you, but they hated me without a cause. But you're blessed for my sake. It's the Son of Man's sake, another place in Luke's gospel. But he said, rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven. Now he told them in Luke 10:20, rejoice, for your name is written in heaven. So having a reward in heaven, having your name written in heaven, that puts you in good company, doesn't it? In heaven. And we are going to take up this point further on about rejoicing. And God bless you, global Christian friends.